I'm not a short form content person. I'm more of a long form 3-part series kind of person. Hello, and welcome to my Booktube channel. If you're new here, my name is Adrian, and today we're gonna do the Booktube Newbie Tag. I'm a bit nervous for it, or a bit hesitant, because this isn't my first time trying to record a video for it, because the first one ended up being like 50 some minutes long, and I was like not even sure how to cut up some of those answers and stuff. I've seen like a lot of the Booktube Newbie Tag videos in doing some research to find the questions, and a lot of them are like 10 minutes or shorter, and so I'm just like, how? Anyways, I have a list of questions I compiled from watching a bunch of them, because I guess maybe that's part of why they're shorter, is some of them don't answer all of the questions, it seems. Unfortunately though, I couldn't find the origin of the Booktube Newbie Tag, so I can't exactly be sure what is on the list of questions or not. And with that, with my researching, I kind of put them in an order that makes sense to me, as well as like one or two of the questions I kind of merged together with another, just because I'm like, those are kind of like really related questions that would be better if they're like there. Hope that, if that makes sense. Let's dive in. Question 1. Why did you start this channel? Why did I start this channel? Well, as it goes with most booktubers I've come across, I love books and reading, and I would love to talk about books, but in my circumstances, I don't really get to do like more in-depth discussions of books with my friends or family, even though there's plenty of readers in the people that I know. Readers among the people I know, because otherwise it sounds like they are hiding little like readers in them or something. So yeah, I started the Booktube channel because I wanted to talk about books, share some of my thoughts about books and stuff, and engage in the community and have some discussions that I don't really get to have elsewhere. Question 2. What are some fun, unique things you can bring to Booktube? Which is always, it seems to be like one of the most like touched upon questions in terms of like it being a bit of an odd question, and like, why do you need to bring something unique? But I don't think I need to address that beyond just saying I'm a human and all humans are unique somehow. But beyond that, I had before I say the ideas I have, one other thing that I will say that I'm bringing is my perspective as someone with aphantasia. If you don't know what aphantasia is, I'll put some resources below. I'll put some videos, because there are some pretty decent ones. Keep typing like a chicken. Anyways, to put it very simply and like not entirely correctly, it's when you have like a blind mental eye, like you can't visualize. I also had some ideas or like things I wanted to do video wise, like as an English major, with some of the books I've read, there are times where I'm like, ooh, I could write something about that, or I want to talk about this. So I was thinking it'd be cool to do like maybe some video essays about things in books, like neurodivergence, littering Tolstoy's works, or stuff like that I could talk about. Or another idea I had was doing like nostalgia revisited, as I mentioned in my August TBR video. Feel free to check that out because I have some books on that list that I was thinking I might read and do a video on, like the revisiting nostalgia, kind of seeing if it holds up or how it aged, if I still love it, just like various things, kind of assessing older books from my childhood or like to a certain point. I haven't fully fleshed it out yet, but I have that in mind. That's all I can think of in the moment for what I bring beyond just myself. So question 3, which is 2 in 1, is when did you start reading, and what book or series got you into reading? I don't exactly know. I don't know if I can really tell, because I've been reading as far as I can remember, as long as I can remember. Even when I wasn't reading myself, I know my mom, when I was little and like with some of my older siblings, she has this bind up of, I think, all of the Chronicles of Narnia, and she read that to us. I don't remember any of it outside of like the plot in the few movies that are out. But yeah, I can't say when I started reading, probably like even before kindergarten, because I know I was like somewhat able to read at that point. And then the series or books, I don't know, it would have just been like quick children's books, as well as like me being me and saying, you can't tell me what I can't read. So there is some interesting things that I read, like picking up books that were oriented towards like people older than me. So there's like a mix of children's books, like If You Give a Mouse a Cookie or Tale of Despero, Boxcar Children. I know I read those when I was young, among like a lot of others. I was like such a voracious reader. But also, like, I read Harry Potter when I was younger than I think a lot of people usually pick it up. Because I remember my grandpa at one point was like doubting my reading capacity at some point, and he had the 6th book, and it was the one that he was like, yeah, you couldn't read that, and I was like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And I read the first chapter or 2 out loud, and he was like, okay, you've proven your point. I get it. But yeah, I later read the whole series, and that was that. That's one that I would like to revisit for nostalgia, because I still need to like deal with my relations with that, considering like some of my friends being impacted by what the author has kind of turned into or turned out to be. There's complex relations for me with that right now, so I just want to revisit it and consider. Anyways, let's move on. Question 4. Why do you love reading? Why do I love reading? A lot of reasons. I mean, obviously there's like some common ones, like it's good to escape. Sometimes it's relaxing and meditative. Oh, shit. Oh, he's asleep. Sorry, he just was whimpering in his sleep. It's freaking adorable. Anyways, what was I saying? Why do I love reading? Oh, right. The meditative aspect. And then there's... what else is there? There was some third one I was going to say. I don't remember now. Anyways, but beyond those like more common ones I've seen, I love reading because like it provides words and ways of expressing things or describing life. And it also provides like a model at times for dealing with things that's been helpful. And I've learned a lot through my reading. Even fiction has a lot of fact in it, so you pick up on things, and reading has allowed me to express myself, understand the world better, kind of develop who I am, I guess. Is like every time I pick up a book, I'm kind of engaging with both myself and the book at the same time, and there's something special about that for me. Yeah. Let's move on to question 5, which is, what kind of books do you like to read? Honestly, I think it'd be easier to say what ones that I'm not as big into. Not to say that I dislike them, but it's just like the ones that I don't reach for as much because they tend to be a lot more iffy. And there's things like books that are like the book formats of plays, poetry books, thrillers. What else is there? I will kind of avoid, or I ask that people kind of let me know if there's like horrifying animal abuse or stuff like that, so I can kind of at least be prepared, because I'm someone who's willing to give anything a chance, but some things come from a place of needing to do more to get me to like it than others, I guess. I don't have much else to say beyond like, yeah, it's thrillers, some romance, poetry, plays, all of those I'm kind of like, Oh, nonfiction I also haven't reached out to as much, but I'm wanting to change that. I have a bunch of nonfiction I would love to get to, so I guess we'll see how that changes. Let's move on to question 6, which is one I added because I was like, it's good to kind of get a sense of the person. And it's, what books are you currently reading? The books I'm currently reading, one I've already like shared is War and Peace, is one I'm reading. The other is a different book. You can see in my TBR, there's actually 2 of them. It's Frankenstein, and then I read the first few pages of The Barcode Rebellion. So that's all I'm currently reading. I guess that's kind of that question I added because I was thinking I was going to make this video before the TBR, because then it would be like, here's just a quick sense of like what books I'm currently reading, so you can get an idea of what I'll be talking about currently. So, oh well. Question 7. So question 7. Where do you read? Plenty of places. I'm not gonna say the answer that I've seen a lot of people where they're like everywhere, because I know there are places where I absolutely will not read. Like if I am somewhere insanely loud, if I'm not able to like put headphones on to block out the overwhelming noise, I won't be able to focus and read. But also, I'm not someone who reads in the shower or bath, so I can't say everywhere with that. And there's plenty of other places where it's like, yeah, I wouldn't be reading there. But I suppose the most common places I read are probably this chair recently, the couch, my bed, at the kitchen table, pacing a little bit to like do that, and also on an exercise bike, and then when I walk. Anyways, question 8. That's 5. I've been doing that, but it's question 8. Is, what does your book collection look like? So part of why the previous attempt is so long is because I did like a verbal tour of my book shelves. So let's just say it's an eclectic mix of books spread out on various different shelves and where I can put, and places where I could fit books. If you want to get a sense of the different genres or stuff, I have like classics, some short stories, some poetry, plays. Not really a lot of plays, but like some. I have a whole like shelf that's basically fantasy. There's some sci-fi books featuring the Alphabet Mafia. Am I gonna call it that? Yes. I'm gonna say the Alphabet Mafia because I love that way of putting it. If you don't know what that is, too bad. I'm not going to explain. Anyways, I said sci-fi. There's some thrillers, some horror, especially Stephen King, nonfiction. I have a lot. And it's spread on like 3 walls and also like another shelf on another wall. Well, not on a wall. It's in like an actual bookshelf instead of shelves put on the wall. That makes sense. Anyways, question 9 is next, and it's: what challenges with starting a booktube channel do you think will be hardest to overcome? So I've already like seen some of this, and it's kind of like making sure that I don't record too long to make it easier to edit, kind of not messing up my speaking, but also finding opportunities and time to record. Also backgrounds, because and at my dad's place, I'm still not sure where I'm going to be recording. I might make some sort of setup in front of one of my shelves. We'll see. Because then we might actually have books in the background at some point. But yeah, like all of that, the finding time, getting it so I'm not interrupted, being more concise, trying to not ramble or mess up and make it so editing me has to do a lot. So yeah, those are some of the challenges. I'll get through them, I guess. Question 10? 10. Yes. Question 10. What are you most excited about for this channel? Getting to talk about books, which I guess is why I started this channel. It's related, but yeah, I'm most excited for like seeing the people who may find me, possibly getting to talk with others, maybe even doing buddy reads or book clubs. I might bring in like a book club I sort of started. Bit weird situation. But yeah, there's a lot of things I'm really excited for. But I can't say for sure what all will come because for all I know, I could be dead tomorrow. Man, that's kind of sad. Let's let's move on because I think I've answered the question, which is question 11. Yes. Question 11, and the final question is: what questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? Well, I don't have a favorite booktuber because there are quite a few I watch. All of them kind of have their own little like sections. But I guess one thing would be like, how do you get it so your videos are much shorter? Like your way of talking, conciseness, not messing up, stuff like that. I'd want to know about. I guess I'd have more like personal questions where it's like, would you want to hang out, want to be friends? Because I enjoy you as a person, or at least the you I've seen. And then I guess there's like, would just be a vague question of like, what tips and advice do you have? Because I feel like, well, yes, a lot of booktubers put advice out there about like how to booktube, how to start, what to do, blah blah blah. I feel like when you actually get to know someone and spend some time with them, you're able to give more like specific advice that would be helpful. Yeah, those are the questions I can think of at the moment. And that's all of the questions. That's the Booktube Newbie Tag. I feel like I've gone through this a lot faster compared to the first time. And I know it's like called the Booktube Newbie Tag and you're supposed to tag some people, but quite frankly, I don't know anyone at the moment who hasn't done a Booktube Newbie Tag already. So if you're new to Booktube and you're coming across this and you haven't done this yet, I guess I'm challenging you, tagging you to do it. And if you've been thinking about starting a Booktube channel and you're watching this, take this as your sign to do it. Go for it. And do this tag. I would love to see it. And if you do the tag, let me know that you did in the comments below, as well as like maybe asking some questions to get to know me better beyond what I've said here. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Do all the YouTube-y things, comment, whatever you like. You can ignore any of my questions or answer all of my questions in the comments. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever. Do it, don't do it. I hope all y'all out there have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.